Hey everybody, how's it going? So a lot of you have been asking, what do I think of the fact that garbage is piling up in New York City because people are seemingly protesting the vaccine mandates that work at the Department of Sanitation? It says here in the Gothamist, 311 complaints of uncollected trash quadruple after New York City launches new vaccine mandate. It has a picture over here of trash in Canarsie in an area where there's usually regular pickup, but it has not been picked up. They say the complaints are spiking most in parts of South Brooklyn and Staten Island. If we're being honest with ourselves here, again, I spent 17 years in Staten Island. The borough itself is kind of like a garbage dump. They literally have, not even just making fun of Staten Island, which admittedly is very fun to do if you live in New York City, especially if you grew up there like I did, but they literally have a garbage dump for the longest period of time that was actually viewable from space. If you go to the Staten Island Mall on a day that the wind is blowing the wrong way, you can tell. But I digress from that. So what do I think of this, the fact that there are less people picking up garbage as a result of this? Obviously, if you mandate that people inject themselves with something that they do not want to be injected with, you may find that that contributes to things like a labor shortage. That being said, I don't think that this is going to be something that really changes people's perception of the city, nor do I think this is something to really worry about or something that's going to last, and I want to go over why. When it comes to changing the perception of the city, or, Lewis, now there's going to be trash everywhere. What do you think of that? I mean, that's kind of how it was before this, man. So before there was any sort of protest on this, this is what it's like to just walk around South Williamsburg, or the area around South Williamsburg or North Bed-Stuy. So take a look at this. This is a normal thing to see while you're walking on the side of the street. Just, a sign that's tipped over and a bunch of trash everywhere. If you take a look, let's just say in an area that's closer to my apartment, I'm just walking down the street. This was left like this for 3 days. Again, several weeks before there was any sort of protest from city workers on this, you had this, and this was left here for quite a while. This is quite normal in New York City. There's trash everywhere, and it often doesn't get picked up or collected. Over here, you can see this is a public trash can. Put litter in its place. You have the residents that treat the area like shit and toss stuff everywhere, and then you have the Department of Sanitation that says if the residents are going to treat everything like shit, then, well, why should I bother and pick it up? This is something that's been going on for, as I imagine, as long as New York City has existed, or at the very least, as long as I've been here. When it comes to business trash, you have to pay extra for that to be collected. So the Department of Sanitation does not pick up business trash. I have to pay a private carting company. In my experience over the past 10 years is that they will often skip pickup for no good reason. I have played musical chairs with carting companies, going and trying all different carting companies in the city. Here is one from Mr. T Carting. I said, do not use Mr. T Carting for business trash pickup in Manhattan. I stand by that statement because they would routinely do this to us, where they would not pick up the trash. We would come in the next day, and the trash would be sitting right in front of the store. Now, many of you ask, why do you just put your trash in the street? That's insane. Well, in other areas of the country, what people tend to do is they have a commercial building. In the back of the commercial building, there'll be a dumpster, and they will put everything there, and then the trash will be picked up from the back of the building by the commercial dumpster. In New York City, there is no behind the building because behind your building is another building, and in front of that building is a sidewalk. So you don't really have the space for that in New York City the way that you do at many other businesses. We don't have like parking lots and stuff like that in Manhattan. So the way that you deal with your trash is you put it out in bags and boxes on the sidewalk after you're done with the day, so when you close, and then you tell the carting company that you have what your hours are, and they will have a route, and they'll pick up your garbage an hour or two after you close, sometimes 3 or 4 hours depending on your closing time. This is what usually happens. And you're supposed to put nice little a little certificate or something on your door that says that you have a licensed garbage company to pick up your trash. Now, what winds up happening a lot of the time is they just don't pick it up. It's like, LOL, my bad. And what happens the next morning, if your trash is still there, the Department of Sanitation finds the business. This is how you know this is a racket in New York City. They do not fine the garbage carting company that is on their certificate on the door for not doing the job that they were paid to do. The garbage company doesn't get fined. The business owner does. So when Mr. T does not pick up the garbage like they did in this video, which, by the way, happened very often when I was dumb enough to use Mr. T Carting, I would wind up paying hundreds of dollars to the Department of Sanitation in fines because the Department of Sanitation rides around the city the next morning, tries to see who has garbage on there, and then fines the business owner. Again, not the carting company that didn't do their job, the business owner. And this is something that happens very often for me. And now one of the things that I think is going to wind up happening here is that this may actually be a way for New York City to increase its revenue and fines by going around and then fining people. So the Department of Sanitation does not pick up garbage from a particular apartment complex. I would not be surprised if then a supervisor from the Department of Sanitation decided to drive by and look at that apartment complex, see that the garbage was, there in an unsavory way, and then actually fine people. This is what New York City does. This is a video that I did a while back where I was talking about a fine that I got from New York City. This happened this year. This video is Rant New York City is begging business owners to leave. There is a rule that says that if I am buying laptops from customers, I need to enter them into a Leads Online database. I don't buy laptops from customers. I don't engage in that business. I'm not a pawn shop. If people leave a device here for 2 to 4 years and never pick it up in spite of my calling, emailing, and text messaging them, after a few years, I will finally put that laptop for sale, as it says in the customer agreement that they sign in the beginning. So I'll put that in the window. I didn't buy it from the customer, and often, admittedly, these laptops are not laptops I even got from customers. They're devices that I assembled from parts that I have in the store. I have records for the devices that I sell where it shows that it was left here, how it was left here. Do you think the city cares? No, of course they don't. They say, we're going to fine you anyway. And I called the city to say, okay, if I'm not buying laptops from customers, how can I comply with your law? And in this 15-minute video, I spoke with several people from the city, and none of them could actually answer my question. So what I did is I took my secondhand dealer's license and said, LOL, fuck you. I ripped it up, and now I don't pay a renewal on that, and I use the parts from those devices for other customers. Point being here, the city loves finding reasons to fine people. Even if they cannot explain to you how to be in compliance with the law, even if they can't explain to you what the law is, they will find a way to fine you. That has been my experience in the city over the past 10 years that I've been in business, and I wouldn't be surprised if they actually use this as an opportunity to fine people. I genuinely wouldn't be surprised if they walked up to an apartment complex where the garbage was like this or where it wasn't being picked up, and then they said, oh, you're attracting rats. Okay, we're going to fine you. They seriously do that. They fine people over there being rats around the garbage as if the property owner is responsible for the fact that his property resides in a shithole city that is filled with rats. And I genuinely wouldn't be surprised if this was actually a revenue generator for New York City. In terms of it lasting for a long period of time, I don't see this lasting for a long period of time either. When you take a look at the salaries that people get paid over $85,000 a year after working there for just a few years. So you can get a job at the Department of Sanitation as a garbage pickup person and a sanitation worker, and then within a few years you're making $89,000. You have over 90,000 people that apply to take this test and apply to go through this whole system each year when it's their time. So there's no shortage of people that want to be sanitation workers. There's a lot of competition for this particular job. There's a lot of people competing to get these jobs because they pay very well for the level of education that is required. Again, it's not like these other meme jobs where they say, we want you to have a master's degree, a PhD, 5 years of experience to make $15 an hour. These jobs pay well, and they're not asking you to have a PhD or a master's degree to get it. So there's a lot of competition to be a sanitation worker, and it is a job, again, you get to work outside, get very good benefits, you get good retirement. So if there's people that are going to quit that are like, I don't want to pick up garbage because they're requiring that I get a vaccine to keep people healthy, then you're going to find a bunch of people that are more than happy to take their place, which is what's going to happen. And again, when people say, well, in the meantime, who's going to pick up the garbage? The city's going to look like shit. I mean, it already looks like shit. Again, it's not like we're talking about some part of the Hamptons or something here. Any part of the city that you walk through is going to be filled with garbage all the time because it is a garbage city that is always filled with garbage all the time. And when it comes to how fast it will be to get people to take these jobs, $89,000, $85,000 a year for something that doesn't require you to have a college degree, good benefits, good pension, that's going to get snapped up just like that. People are going to be on it, picking up garbage immediately. I'm confident that the people that don't want to that don't want to pick up garbage with a vaccine will be replaced by people that are more than happy to pick up garbage with a vaccine. You let me know what you think in the comments down below. That's it for today. And as always, I hope you learned something. And if you're one of the people that's most likely going to get fined by the Department of Sanitation for not having your garbage picked up, for there being mice or rats, in spite of the fact that it's the very Department of Sanitation not picking up your trash, again, I really would not be surprised if this starts happening, and my heart goes out to you. I know how it feels, and it is a giant scam. It is just one of the many giant scams within this scam of a city, and how they make money for... that'll just be another video. See you all.